Hello, I'm Alex Abel, and welcome to FMJ Episode 1. So, legal disclaimer first and foremost, I am just a law student, I am not an attorney, and everything here that I'm saying is strictly my opinion. With that out of the way, and that being said, today I would like to just discuss a bit about a situation going on in Ocean County, New Jersey. There have been various reports that the Superior Court Judge Rochelle Gazinski is issuing a list of sensitive places for CCW holders at which the carry permit shall be deemed invalid. The Honorable Rochelle Gazinski is a judge on the Vicinage 14th Superior Court in New Jersey. She was appointed in 2009, earned her BA from Rutgers University and her JD from Seton Hall University. Prior to joining the bench, she has spent 26 years as an attorney in New Jersey. Now, she has been attaching these orders onto approved CCW applications since August, I believe. So what are some of the restrictions she has been placing on the permits that she had signed off on? So some of these places are some that you might expect: schools, educational institutions, government buildings, legislative assemblies, polling places, courthouses. And then you got some like malls, but only if they're restricted by the private property owner, and of course private property of business, which it goes without saying, also the private property owner. Now, bars and nightclubs are another one, and any location where alcohol is served. So that can include restaurants, like Denny's, or Applebee's, or even your local diner if they're serving alcohol there, or any facility with a license for on-premises cannabis consumption, which weed is legal in the state of New Jersey now, and any place where time that a permit holder is ingesting any intoxicating substance, regardless of whether they're actually intoxicated, impaired, or under the influence. That goes without saying. Please practice safe and responsible gun ownership. Number 11 is the one that people are taking issue with. Also, no permit holder who is operating or riding in or on a motor vehicle may carry a firearm. And with regard to motor vehicles, any firearms must be stored in the trunk and unloaded pursuant to NJSA 2C39-6G. There's number 12, which is any place where they're prohibited by federal law, and that if the applicant is employed at a sensitive place and that the employer requires them to be armed, then during hours of employment, that person who is given the permit shall not be prohibited from carrying the firearm, and it is further ordered that they shall carry this permit and the copy of this order she is giving them at all times when they are carrying the handgun for which she has approved this permit for. Now, for most people, it would seem that she is ordering anyone who is given this order when they were issued their CCW by her, that they may not carry a firearm on them while driving or as a passenger in a car, and that in order to have it in the vehicle, they must have it locked in the trunk and unloaded as according to the statute. However, in my personal opinion, there are several issues within her order that need to be examined themselves. So first, let's look at the actual statute, NJSA 2C39G. The statute says that subsection G, any weapon being transported under paragraph 2 of subsection B, subsection E, or paragraph 1 or 3 of subsection F of this section shall be carried unloaded and contained in a closed and fastened case, gun box, securely tied package, or locked in the trunk of the automobile in which it is being transported, and in the course of travel shall include only deviations as are reasonably necessary under the circumstances. Okay, so this seems straightforward enough. If you want to transport a gun in or through New Jersey, you must abide by these rules. But here's the kicker. These are rules pertaining to the transport, not necessarily the actual carrying of a firearm. Now, the order says that no permit holder who is operating or riding in or on a motor vehicle may carry a firearm. Well, the problem that now arises is when she puts in parentheses that she is saying that with regard to motor vehicles, any firearm must be stored in the trunk and unloaded pursuant to NJSA 2C39 subsection G. Pursuant would mean in accordance with or following. So she is saying that when you are transporting a firearm, because remember, you as an Ocean County CCW holder are not allowed to carry the gun in your motor vehicle as it is a sensitive place according to order, that it must be locked and stored in the trunk because that is what, according to her, what the statute says. Problem is that's not what the statute actually says. The statute references specifically automobiles, not motor vehicles, as she is claiming it does. Well, why does this matter? So, under New Jersey state law, motor vehicles include all vehicles propelled otherwise than by muscular power, excepting such vehicles as run only upon rails or tracks and motorized bicycles. Automobiles, however, include all motor vehicles except for motorcycles. So from this we can take away, basically trains are exempted from being a motor vehicle because they're run only upon rails. Certain kinds of motorized bicycles, not motorcycles, but motorized bicycles. So bicycles that have a helper engine, I think it goes up to 50 cc's or up to 25 miles per hour. But those are also exempted. Buses would not be, and neither would a boat be unless it was powered by muscular power. So I guess maybe sailboats, but again, it says muscular power, so sailboats are powered by wind. So does that technically make them a motor vehicle? I'm not so sure. But in any case, if we follow her summarization of Statute G, it appears that she is saying any CCW holder is not allowed to carry a gun, nor store it even, an unloaded gun, in any kind of motor vehicle that does not have a trunk. This would extend to public transport such as buses and ferries and boats too. So what should the judge have stated to clarify the confusion she has unintentionally created here? Well, she should have said that in regard to automobiles, which the statute is directly referencing, it is how to store a weapon when transporting it, which are all motor vehicles besides motorcycles. Then she should have said that with regards to automobiles, firearms are to be stored for transport in a manner pursuant to NJSA 2C39-6 subsection G. In my opinion, I think that the judge made a mistake on two fronts and is wrong in her interpretation. She is firstly wrong on what the wording of the law is because she seems to not recognize the or provision of the statute. The statute says or locked in the trunk. It doesn't say that you have to and lock it in the trunk unloaded. Secondly, she says that subsection G applies to all motor vehicles. This is just patently wrong. It applies only to automobiles, which excludes motorcycles, and no one is going to say that a boat necessarily constitutes an automobile. As we all know, not all motor vehicles necessarily have a trunk. A bus would fall within the definition of a motor vehicle, but NJ Transit certainly does not, and I'm guaranteeing would not be willing to put a gun in the trunk if they even had one for you. So you would be even unable to transport the gun because subsection G is all about transport even if you don't have a CCW. So in theory, those without CCWs in Ocean County can transport their gun via motorcycle as normal to the range and back from the range directly, while those with the CCW would possibly be even de facto banned from doing the same under her misinterpretation of the law. That would make no sense. So what one can take away is that the actual wording of subsection G is that all cars, trucks, boats, jet skis, buses, planes, whatever, minus is motorized bicycles, not motorcycles, but rather pedal bikes with a helper motor that has a certain range of displacement and speed, trains and rail-guided trams, you can transport it unloaded in a closed lock container, package, case, gun box, securely tied package, or you can transport it locked in the trunk of these cars, trucks, boats, jet skis, buses, planes, etc. And so she is saying you must follow the statute in regards to that transport rules. But in explaining that, she incorrectly summarizes what subsection G is actually saying. So to help out with confusion, what she is saying is that you must follow the law of subsection G, and to do so, you must unload your gun and have it secured in the trunk of your motor vehicle. Which is partially true because automobiles are a motor vehicle, but she's wrong because that's not what the subsection says. It is in regards to just automobiles. Because again, remember, a motor vehicle does not constitute, for example, a motorcycle. And there is no trunk necessarily in most and many platforms of motorcycle. So she's giving you correct, but at the same time incorrect info on what the statute actually is. But in the end, that doesn't necessarily matter because what she is saying is that she wants you to just follow what the law is under subsection G anyway. So in my own personal non-legal opinion, and this is not legal advice, that means that Ocean County CCW holders should still be entitled to transport, not carry, but they are entitled to transport guns in their motor vehicles as long as they're within the guidelines of subsection G, even if they have no trunk, like a pickup truck motorcycle, etc., and only include necessary deviations. They will have no CCW for their vehicles. They can take it to the range and back. They can take it to the repair shop, the gun repair shop and back, and any necessary deviations and back. But they can't put the gun in the trunk, travel for ice cream with the kids after Little League, and go back. The permit is de facto useless for carrying whilst in your motor vehicle, in your automobile as well. Again, this is just my opinion. It is not legal advice. Please consult with a licensed attorney on what you should do if you were issued by this judge a CCW out of Ocean County. I hold no responsibility for what you do. Please consult with a licensed attorney. In sum, I think the judge was trying to just reference the law and give advice for what people should do. I don't think she was mandating that it has to necessarily be in the trunk. I think she was just mistaken on what the wording of the law says. What does this all mean in the grand scheme of things? What the judge is trying to say is that you must follow 2C39-6G. You must have it stored away as if you don't have a carry permit at all. Your carry permit is useless in your motor vehicle. Your vehicle is considered to be a sensitive place. You must have it stored in the trunk and unloaded is what she believes the law is saying, but she's really only wanting you to just follow 2C39-6G. This is my interpretation once again, and anything I say here is not legal advice. Consult an attorney before you do anything. I am not one. And in addition, you cannot carry it on any kind of public transport that would be constituted as a motor vehicle. Because remember, she says that it would be in or on. Yes, you can, as an Ocean County CCW holder, continue to transport, not carry, transport your guns in your vehicle if it does not have a trunk. The judge is either mistaken on the law or, in the worst case scenario, I hope not, ignorant of what the statute actually says. And again, if she is saying you must do an action as it states in subsection G of the statute, then you must follow what the statute says, because that is what she is telling the holder in this court. So that's it for the first episode of FMJ. I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope to teach people more about certain kinds of things that are going on within the legal realm of firearms, and also other kinds of firearms media or legal things that are happening, going on. I know there's a ton of court cases out there, a lot that have petitioned, a lot that have been remanded, and trust me, I've been looking at all of them. But if you really want me to focus on a specific one, please leave a comment down below. I'll try my best to research it. I really enjoyed doing this kind of thing, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. With that being said, stay safe and take care and have a good one.